Hi, welcome to my new project, Dickhead Survival. So this is the show where you get one water bottle, one ferro rod, one knife, and we see how one dickhead lasts a night in the Australian bush with just those things. Alrighty, so just the lay of the land. So I do have a bag full of camera gear so I can film all of this, but that is all that's in the bag. The only other thing I do have is my mobile phone, because otherwise my wife wouldn't have let me come and do this, just in case I accidentally cut my hand off with my giant survival knife. So that is all, but I won't be using any of the features on my phone to help me survive. I've got nothing else here except apart from a slightly warmer jacket. It is going to be very cold tonight, and there are no other seas, there's no cordage or cover, so I'm going to have to be either sleeping in a ditch in the ground crying all night, or maybe, just maybe, using some of those non-existent YouTube taught survival skills and building myself some sort of something to make it a little bit more bearable. So because I somewhat know the terrain and I somewhat know how to make a fire with this knife and with this ferro rod, the main thing I'm going to look at first is making myself, because I'm aware of how the terrain goes, some sort of raised thing to sleep on. Because you know what happens here at night time? All these little fuckhead spiders come out of the ground, all these little clear ones, and they just crawl all over everything. And it's sandy soil here. It's fairly near the river, so I have got a source of water if I need it. If my one drink bottle doesn't do the trick, and I'm pretty sure it won't because I'll be working. So yeah, because of that soil, you get all these little spiders and scorpions that'll come as soon as the sun goes down and be all like, "Hey there, I'm just going to crawl on your butt." So I don't want that to happen. So I'll be making some sort of thing to sleep on, try to sleep on, and that'll be the main focus. And then a byproduct of that, because I'll be working with wood, is hopefully having enough stuff to scrabble together a fire. So this is the campsite that I have chosen to stay in. There are a couple of small branches above me, but really it is more or less fairly clear. And the ground's fairly level, and I can clear a little bit of this to make it so it's not too horrible to sleep on. And I've checked all the nearest dead trees. There are a few dead trees about the place. I've checked all of them for like super enchant colonies, which you do get around here, and they look not too bad. So this will be where I rest my head for the night and try and survive. I'm going on a hunt for suitable wood. I want some long, flat wood to... This is Australia, I'm not going to find that. I'm after some semi-straight branches to make some sort of a sleeping platform with. And I'm hoping I find it somewhere in here, and then I'm going to cut some of those reeds, which are growing plentifully, and use that as some form of bedding. This tree is dead, so I'm going to use it to make my bed. Just tangled up in some other tree stuff up there. The cut is clean. Whoops. Can't break my wife's expensive DSLR. I'll never be able to do this again. There won't be an episode 2. There we go. So because I'm a dickhead, I am affording a lot more time to do this task, because I'm probably going to fuck it up the first time, I'm assuming. But my vision is 2 long, stronger bits of wood with lots of these straight as I can get bits over the top of it, laid horizontally, and I'll lie on top of that, and that should stop, or at least give the little spiders a little bit less access to me while I sleep on it tonight. So in case you haven't picked it up from the title, I don't have any formal survival training. If there was like a survival scale with like on one end Les Stroud and on the other end a ham sandwich, I'd be closer to the ham sandwich. And I imagine like in the middle would be like a raccoon or something, because they're quite resourceful. So this is certainly just going to be me fumbling my way through things, doing the things that watching and consuming this sort of media would more or less tell me to do. So we'll see if any of that works out or not. We're gonna harvest this this other bit of this dead tree. I mean, it's dead anyway, and I reckon this will be the other bed pole sort of thing. So people get upset about the live stuff being cut down. So this is just dead stuff. It's all good. So look how dead this is. Super dead. Dead AF. Well, this would be a great opportunity for beginning to get to know this Becker BK7, and it certainly is. The handle's really good, and in fact for a open tang knife, it's actually quite comfortable with the impact tasks. It's a little bit slippery though. I can see why people go up to the micarta. That wood is so damned hard. You just hope like that's enough for me to be able to push it over now. It's like that hopeful, wishful thinking thing. That's got a fifth of the way through. I'll definitely be able to push it from here. Must have to get like a fourth of the way through instead. Yeah, that'll definitely be it. Surely. Whoa. Gonna have to beaver this fucker and go all the way around it, I think. Tell you what, all those people that say just use an axe, they're absolutely right. In this this case anyway, I just feel like I wish I could just Metal Gear Solid this bad boy and just feel like sleep. Yes. And then it just fall over. But nope. Maybe I'll just sleep in this tree tonight. I think it's probably the strongest thing in this country right now. Smells good. Fuck you, Australia. Ugh. It's making such damn hard wood. All you people with your aspen pines and things, this is the reality I have to deal with every day. I reckon I'm better than Ray Mears just because I haven't cut down this tree. Right. There we go. Oh, thank fuck for that. The best thing about this ferro rod is it's got a whistle on it. So if I'm ever too stuck, I can probably blow this whistle and then maybe a real man will come and help me. So now I'm going to show you how to field dress a tree at camp. All the little bits and bobs will be firewood, don't worry. Because I can tell that you're worried, you're saying, don't waste that tree. Back in my culture, we use all the parts of the tree. It's going to be happening, don't you stress. So looking at the sky, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay for rain. If I'm not, there's probably enough around here to just kind of put my jacket over me and sit miserably in the cold. It's kind of like a gamble I'm taking. It's like probably 3 more hours of daylight, and in those hours, because I don't have a torch, I have to kind of do everything. So I'm going to soldier on ahead with my bed plan and just cross my fingers that it's not completely stupid. Today on Bushcraft with Ray Mears, Ray has made a highly sophisticated sleeping vessel, which I'll now reveal to you. Holy fucking shit. That looks like a medieval torture device, but no ground touching, off the cold, cold ground for me. Oh yeah. Looking forward to it. Shall we give it a try? You know what? It's not the fucking shittest thing ever. I mean, it's close to the shittest thing ever, but it's not the shittest thing I've ever made. So, I think with some reeds, it's not actually going to be too bad. So like I was going to do reeds as a bed, but I think I'm just going to pick heaps of this shit. It's like, it's not prickly, it's got pretty flowers on it, which is always win. And then, yeah, it's just very plentiful, and it's quite soft and not super moist, so it's not going to squidge up on me. So, rather than reeds, I think I'm going to go random pink flower weed bed. So, let's get to it. So because this is Australia and nothing here, we got ahead by saying, hey, pick me, I'll help you, weary traveller. That plant is a little bit annoying. It's got like these quite sticky little seeds on it. They don't cause a rash or anything, but it's just how they spread. They really stick into your clothes. So luckily, I'm wearing an undershirt, so I'm quite warm now, so I'll probably be able to take this outer shirt off and actually just get by my undershirt, which has only caught a few of them. So, and I might be able to pick them out. That might be something to do at night time. That's fun, isn't it? While I'm passing the time, waiting to see if I live or die. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. I'll make sure I catch as much of it on film as possible for you all as well, because it's going to be gripping, me picking all the little bits of seed out of my purple hooded shirt here. So it's probably about time to start gathering heaps of shit up for a fire, because I need stuff to last all night, because I don't have any light sources with me, so I don't really want to be staggering around back there in the dark. Still haven't drunk any water, so yeah. And remember, I've only got a drink bottle, so I'm going to have to figure out how to be creative if I do need to filter it or anything, because the river water's pretty brown, so I mean you can drink it after it's boiled, but that's a lot of extra minerals in my drink there. Anyway, cross one bridge at a time. I was here when I shot my SCHF 42D review, and I'd already sawed this tree then, so fuck it, I'm going to take it, because this is a nice big clump of firewood. Oh yeah, nice and dead. So I'm going to put my fire right next to my bed. I'm going to try and make it like longer than usual, just so it's not so painfully cold all night. Maybe, I hope. I tell you what, it's lucky I'm here by myself and not with my wife, because with a romantic setup like this, we wouldn't be getting much bushcrafting done, that's for sure. So for tinder today, I'm going to be using these dry dead reeds. I'm going to smash them up nice and good with my knife. And then as like slightly better tinder, I'm going to be just feather sticking this piece of very dead gumwood. So we'll see how we go. Actually having a bit more difficulty than I thought making a fire, just a ferro rod and feathers fire. It's the first time I've really used that light my fire thing for ages, like in a usually I have like some cotton wool balls or something with it, so I don't know, maybe the ferro rod's a bit shit. Yeah, or maybe you're just fucking shit. Fair call, conscience, fair call. Must continue to feather and keep trying, because it's going to be miserable without a fire. Holy fucking shit. So, I had to use some like trash that I found, and the ferro rod is just like the shittest ferro rod ever now, it's so thin. But yes, I finally got something of a fire going. I must hurry back and tend to it before it goes out. I think I would cry. It's been about an hour, and just nothing was taking a spark. I even found like a shredded up like tissue thing, and that wasn't doing it. I even pulled the fluff out of my jacket, and that wasn't doing it. So truly is Dickhead survival in its purest form today. Oh man, I'm such a dickhead. That took ages to make that fire. This is where I came out and did the Schrade review, and I made like fire using a bit of shit wood, and I don't know, you're not supposed to blame your tools, but I find my other fire still a little bit easier. You know, I think it's the striker. You're all like fucking with it because it's attached to each other, but I don't want to deattach it because the Becker BK7, in its current form, you can't strike a steel with it yet unless you use the blade, which is a true dick move to use the blade. So I didn't, and you can sort of get a couple of sparks, but yeah, you really need to strip this coating off to be able to get it to do that. So yeah, I'd love to know how many of the YouTubers who have like survival channels are like me, or I'm not a survival channel, but like who have like gear reviewing channels, actually go and do like outdoor stuff without the purpose of making videos, because I don't think I've been out for a long time without bringing a camera and making it like a YouTube thing. It's funny how it makes things go like that. I've always liked going outside, but not particularly lately. I feel like it's almost a wasted opportunity if I don't film it and show everyone. Very strange. We are truly that generation where we feel like we need to be broadcasting everything. Oh well. Everyone's always said the next generation's the shittest one, so all their parents that say that we're shit, all their parents used to say about them as well for other annoying shit things that they did. It's part of the human condition. Just some consolidated thoughts on the Becker BK7 while I'm here, I guess. Hey, so this is it's a really good knife. I'm really been happy with using it. I've used it quite hard on our wood. Is just, you see people chopping trees in other countries, and it is nothing like chopping a tree here. It just literally feels like you're chopping bricks with it. It's crazy hard, especially the dead stuff. And because I don't want to cut down the live stuff, because you know, it's not. I guess it's not nice to, and B, people really don't like it in my comments. So yeah, I've been chopping down the dead stuff. So the knife's done really well with that. It gets stuck, it gets wrenched, sort of thing, because it's real glassy, rocky wood. So it goes ding and sticks. And it doesn't like that, but it hasn't failed or anything. It's looking pretty beat up. The edge is pretty, it's like working sharp still. It won't shave hair anymore except for right at the choil, like the sharpening choil. But overall, one thing, I could see why people get the different scales for it, definitely, because it's slippery, this plastic stuff, but then it's got such a pronounced rear parrot's beak sort of thing that, like, it looks like a bird. It's got such a pronounced rear thing that I don't think you're going to have it fly out, but it's still not particularly secure feeling. So I think the micarta is definitely a go-go if you are sort of after making one of these your one and only big blade. So I can see why people do that, and I might even do it myself. I can see why people get a different sheath as well. The sheath isn't particularly good, but I mean, it's doing the job. It's holding the knife, so yeah, overall, because I guess this is another really great way of reviewing knives, coming out and doing this, using the knife for a lot of stuff. Shit, the amount of feather sticks I made just before to try and fucking get a fire going was obscene. And then all that chopping as well. I haven't had to batten because really, in Australia, at least in my part of Australia, you're not going to have big, thick, nice round bits of wood. It's all just going to be quite gnarled, nasty stuff. So unless you really go out of your way to make batoning a thing happen for you, then you probably won't really need to, and your knife will just be for doing other stuff. So yeah, very happy with the BK7, I must say. It's a good knife. Moon is fairly full tonight. You know, it's been pretty, it's like midnight now, and I still haven't been asleep, I'll say that much, but I'm not super uncomfortable, I'm just hungry. That does suck a bit. Well, I'd probably give the sleep I just had about a 3 out of 10, which really, seeing as I'm out in the woods with no anything, probably better than a 1 or a 2 or a 0 out of 10. I did actually sleep for some hours. I kept waking up, being woken up by the sounds of like koalas in the distance, or really close. Koalas grunting is a really weird noise to hear really close to your head at night. They're up in the trees, so it's one of those weird echoey noises. Sounds like a cold steel testing video is happening right next to your face. But when you open your eyes and you expect to see Lynn Thompson cutting through meat, it's nothing. So that was interesting. That woke me up a couple of times. And then, yeah, just the cold, the bitter cold did wake me up a couple of times, and I re-stoked the fire. But then obviously my body just said enough. Sleep through it, dickhead. So I did, and then I woke up to a nice empty and cold campfire with just some grey and some black coals on the ground. So I'm gonna have to re-stoke that this morning if I do want to boil some water, which I do, because the piss I just did, I think, just instantly killed a healthy gum tree. So it was quite acidic. So we're gonna combine these two things to make some hopefully slightly less shitty water, because that river it looks nice from here, but it's pretty brown or green when you get really close to it. So let's see what happens. Oh, my hands are gonna get frozen just dipping into it, I can tell. Whew. If it wasn't cold already, wow, that's some cold ass water in there. But I think the scarf did a pretty good job of keeping out all the real filth. Let's go back and see if I can crack that fire back up. So here we are back at camp. This was my bed last night. I had my big jacket, which is now airing out because it just stinks of smoke, airing out on a tree about 100 meters away. I had my big jacket as my pillow, and then this really was my mattress. And it wasn't too shit, as I said. Not the fucking shittest thing I've ever done, so it was alright. As you can see, the fire's still got a bit of something going in it, so I'm just going to push this stuff on there and see if we can just get it going again. So really, it actually held its structure fairly well. Some of the slats fell down, and my bum ended up on the ground via the rush stuff, but really my shoulders were kept fairly well supported, and my head was pretty comfortable. So again, if like 10 is sleeping on a really nice comfortable bed with your wife, and 1 is sleeping in the river, then I guess it's probably a 3 or even a 4. So this should... It's cold. This should be on the boil within probably 5 or 10 minutes. It's actually still really hot down there. The log there is actually still kind of full of fire, which is a really good thing to have done. Found a big dead sort of termite-eaten log, and it's kind of all fluffy inside. so it kind of holds all the embers really well. So that'll burn for a fair while. I'll have to actually pour a bit of water on it before I go. This was that healthy gum tree I was talking about before I pissed on it. Look, dissolved completely away with the strength of my uric acid. I didn't actually lose too much, but I had not even considered how I was going to get it out of the fire, so I just had to put a big old stick in there and wrench it across. Fuck it, doesn't matter. Now it's so damn cold out here that the air should probably cool it down at least till it's handleable, probably in the next 20 minutes or something. So overall, I think what I missed the most out of everything that would have made the night easier would have been probably a tent, obviously, but that's fine. That wasn't too bad because it didn't rain. That would have only been if it rained. But like a folding saw or an axe would have made the whole building of everything much easier. I would have been able to build like better tools. A knife isn't ideal for like doing your heavy wood processing in Australia. The wood is just too damn hard unless you're happy to cut down living stuff, which probably isn't the best thing to do in the world. So yeah, that's probably what I'd love to get next time. Maybe I'll do this next time with just an axe and see how that goes, and I reckon then I'd probably come up a bit more frustrated with the feathering of the wood and that sort of thing. So interesting thought. We'll see what happens next time, I guess. It's really pretty out here in the morning. Let's have a look, I'll show you.